and empathize with this type of illness. Larry and I hope that the township boards who have approved ordinances that affect prevent turbines from being built will revisit their decisions. Those who have not yet passed wind and solar ordinances, like Douglas, please give some thought to the financial benefits that tax monies for the turbines will bring to our county. Please give some thought to the future increased burden that will be made on the grid with governmental mandates to reduce coal and fossil fuels in the production of electricity. Populated groups such as those bordering our lakes and wind turbines.
Time 3 minutes.
That makes 3 minutes. Thank
Can
you, Laura.
I finish my sentence?
Finish your sentence, how's that?
That wind turbines can exist with no ill effects to this wind.
Hey, leave her alone.
Thank you,
Guys,
Laura.
it's a sentence.
Okay.
I am Melissa Bannon, I really trust you guys not think it is. I have a study for an injunction proceedings against High Prairie Wind Farms in Missouri. It's for the infrasound and the low frequency noise, ILFN, which now they call close proximity toxic pollutions. So it answers most of the questions. Why is there an issue? Because they put turbines too close to people's homes. The infrared sound that you can't hear and the low frequency noise you can't hear causes a lot of health studies. This is from 2019, so it's not a 10-year-old study either. It answers some questions like, it's also from Germany, Ireland, Denmark. There's case studies from everywhere. It'll say, this is one of the nice questions they can answer. Why is it toxic pollutant? Because it's noise, non-iodizing radiation. This type of noise is dangerous. How could this possibly be true when there's no sick people anywhere? There are sick people. You don't see it right away. 5 to 7 months after you move into a place that has turbines too close, you lose sleep, you have headaches. If you're post-traumatic stress syndrome, it affects that. It affects your brain cells because you don't get enough sleep. It affects a lot of things. Here's another question. If it really is the case that wind produces toxic acoustic pollutants, why are there wind power stations being built all over the world? Apparently, most due to ignorance, but perceived economic benefits also play an important role. So there's these case studies after case studies of how unhealthy turbines are. But people just want to seem to ignore it, and they don't want to think of our health. They want to sit there and they want to smirk, and they want to think that our health is not important in this community. Our health is important in this community. I'm going to put this on record also, along with my acoustic stuff. And here's a copy for you guys, and the PC will all get a copy also. Nick, tell me why every PC person will get it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a direct quote from Mr. Nelson that was in Gratiot. He sat on the board at Greater Gratiot Development about the income. It was to better tax financial help for the schools 15 years ago for Gratiot County. Now, as you know, 10 years. The depreciation was supposed to be 15 years. It's 10 years now. And if this goes through, just so you know, every municipal building that ever is involved in Gratiot County will have to pay back GTE and Consumer Energy a portion of their finances. And this is a direct quote from Mr. Nelson that sat on that board. He said he would, if he would have known now what he did 10 years ago, he would have never had windmills in that township. Mr. Nelson, David Nelson. Christie, I'm sorry, 1990 West Cleese Road.
Okay, time. Our time is up. Anybody want to be next?
I'll go.
Okay, your name, please.
My name is Brenda Paris. I just wanted to make a couple comments. I was hired in 1999, Lakeview High School. There was a vibrant upper middle class there. Taught there for 21 years. In 2004, 2006, Hitachi and Electrolux started closing. This had a huge impact on our school. We lost families, specifically middle class. That led to lower funds from the state, lower test scores because we a lot of kids that left that were, very, just who were educated, wanting to learn. There were cuts to sports, arts, teachers, and failed bonds.
Now you're chasing the rest of us up.
I was there for 20 years, never saw Lakeview recover. Have not seen the influx of kids come back. Our numbers kept being low. We never brought our teacher back. We lost home ec. We lost a guidance counselor. We started losing history teacher, and then you incorporate class sizes got larger. Anyway, the point of this is to just say that I hope that you consider the opportunity that wind can bring to the community and the schools. I have not seen anything else in this county to save this county, to bring some money, to fix the roads, to help the schools. This is a great opportunity. If you don't believe that, you can look down the road at Carson City Crystal. They just passed a $5.6 million bond. Lakeview used to be way above Carson City Crystal in the pecking order of things. I'm not sure if that's going to continue. That's awesome that they're getting that revenue. And I just would really hope that the Planning Commission and the boards would consider the opportunity it brings to the community as a whole. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else wanna speak?
I will. So I got a couple of things. Kayla Crooks, Douglas Township. As far as Laura said, was talking about toxics, I mean, that's what we're trying to prevent, toxic pollutants. And, as far as that bond goes, those are the things that are gonna have to be paid back when the turbine money doesn't come in. I mean, anyway, this is a letter from a lady who lives in Eureka Township. I don't know her. She asked me to present this letter for her to you and the planning commission. She wants to buy some acreage in Douglas Township, and she is very concerned, and she's not gonna buy it till she finds out what's going on. That is an extensive letter that she spent a lot of time on. She's even giving you her sources, so give it a good read. I don't know her. My property is not the property she's trying to buy, in case you were gonna say that. As far as the leases go, Lori Engel stood up before and said, chances of having a turbine on my property are really very remote. And I just wanna say, now that her lease is registered, which some of the leases took over a year to register at the deeds office, now they're public information. I just want you to know that is not the lease that she signed. Her lease says that they can basically do whatever they want. And, not to say anything about her, she probably had a nice conversation with Albert and they shook hands, but we can't trust that. We have to go with what's in black and white. With the oil, when the oil leases were here, they just turned around and sold them to somebody else. And unless it was in black and white, it doesn't matter. So I want you to be careful about that. I also wanted to read an excerpt from the lease. Landowner shall fully support and cooperate, and shall cause each related person of the landowner to fully support and cooperate with grantee in the conduct of its operations and the exercise of its rights hereunder, and in carrying out and otherwise giving full force and effect to the purpose and intent of the easement, including the grantee's efforts to obtain any governmental authority or any person or entity, any environmental impact review, permit, entitlement, approval, authorization, or other rights. So, these people that have signed, they're under a contract to be here and support this, just FYI. And for later, when Jack gets up and says how we're abusing him, this is a stack of all the things that have been said about me online, mostly about Kelly and Jack, mostly from Kelly and Jack, including yesterday, where I was called stupid, sad, and the high priestess of anti-wind. Thank you.
Time's up, Sheila, thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you, Jed Welder.
The only thing is,
Sorry, Sheila, that there's two people.
I just wanna bring up one small thing on this letter she just presented us. Right here, it says that Jack Jepson is a leasee who stands to gain financially for the turbines. It's written in this paper, and that's another
false.
lie.
That is totally false.
That's not true. Only
Yeah.
one thing I brought
It
up.
says so.
Anybody wanna be next?
I will.
It says so.
As far as Sheila's statement, it might have been my wife's making statements about her and like that, but, and that is false statement in that letter right there. We haven't signed a lease, our farm has not signed a lease, I'll come out and say that. It's just, too bad that it's come to this point where, people are getting up with these medical studies and like that, it must be almost like Mars out in, Illinois and Iowa where these turbines have been for 20 or 30 years. It must just be a barren desert, nothing must live there. But, that's just my thought. And I am chairman of the PC, that statement I was making, that was my personal one. We will have a PC meeting on the 29th, I believe it is, it's last Wednesday of September. I did try getting a meeting in August, at the last board meeting, I stated we were gonna have one in August. We had conflict of, scheduling between the committee members. I wanted to have one last Wednesday. Some PC members said they couldn't make it, they had a conflict. We were still gonna have a quorum, but everyone thought that we needed to have everybody there that's on the PC. So I said, forget August, we'll just go ahead in September. So we'll have one in September. Our quarterly meeting will be in October, the last Wednesday in October. So we've got two coming up in the next 2 months. And we'll probably switch the format around a little bit on our meeting that night. So that's all I got.
Jack, what time do you wanna start your meetings at?
7 o'clock. They'll start at regular time at 7 o'clock, just like normal.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else got anything? If not, move to adjourn. Okay, there's a second. Thank you folks for coming.
My name is Denise Jaglowski. I'm a GOP precinct delegate from Reynolds Township, and I came here specifically because I saw on your agenda that you were going to discuss having a vaccine clinic that you were going to be responsible for here at the township. Am I understanding you clearly? It will not happen at the township?
Right.
Thank you. That's a miracle. That's a flat out miracle for anybody to turn down the health department nowadays. I brought some flyers. There's one for each of you if you hand that out. Because I was prepared to educate about vaccines and what the mess this is that we're all in. You had a teacher stand up and say that kids were lost from the Lakeview School District. Could it be because parents are going to be homeschooling because of the vaccine mandates and the?
No, that was in 2004.
Okay. Well, you'll see more homeschooling as this goes along because parents are not going to go along with muzzling their children or required to accept medical products that are dangerous. And then we had a previous girl, an attorney and her team talk about child abuse. She mentioned kids have rights. I'm sorry, don't kids have rights to fresh air, to breathing fresh air? Don't kids have rights to, to their natural immunity, their natural health anymore? I just thought that was very odd line, kids have rights. Really? Do kids have a right to live under the Constitution, which says they shall not, they'll be secure in their person from, assault or you know where I'm going with this? Okay, I'm not explaining very well. To further educate about COVID-19, I picked up this book. It's called The Truth About COVID-19 by Dr. Joseph Mercola, Ronnie Cummings, forward by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. maybe that some names that you are familiar with. I picked up this book yesterday at the Healing Center in Lakeview, and you can go and get your own copy. Every word in here is gold. We all need to read this because this is what they're trying to do to us, and it really is a great big scam. You can go and read about the deaths, the hospitalizations, the numbers from these vaccines are just devastating. They're trying to push it on kids under age 20. It affects especially the heart muscle, causing myocarditis around the hearts of the children. In the elderly and older people, it's causing a lot of strokes.
Okay, ma'am,
So,
your 3 minutes is up. Thank you
okay,
very much.
thank you very much. So, also too, I have petitions to sign, if you care to get, Ryan Kelly on the ballot.
Terry,
I have the petitions
Terry.
with me.
I have been to quite a few board meetings, and this is nothing to do about what the main topic seems to be. I see Adam Peterson is always at the Montcalm one. I think he lives over in that one. I think I've seen him maybe once on a Zoom here. And he gives updates of what's going on in the county for his district. We are that district, aren't we?
Yep.
Why do we not?
Well, half and half.
Why do we never have his feedback here? Okay, that's one part. Part two is zoning. Dave Kelsey. Quite often at the other ones, they ask him what's going on, and he says, well, I've got this going on. Same with Montcalm, they have a zoning guy there too, that gives updates at their regular board meetings. Rarely do I see that here. Do they not think that we're important?
Dave's usually here.
Quite often, yeah, but he doesn't do
He's got our
like,
commissioners here. Pat Carr is one of them, and Adam Peterson's the other one.
okay,
You very rarely see him.
When John Johansson.
John Johansson used to be here every meeting. He's not our commissioner anymore, so. Why, I don't know. You'll have to
well,
ask
yeah,
him.
the other ones, they'll go through and say exactly what's been going on, if there's, issues that they're having with the zoning, if there's somebody that's breaking the rules.
Yep.
Oh, the zoning guy?
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah,
Dave usually, he used to do it.
and if
before.
anybody's applying for something or whatever, but it's like, you guys never get that.
We used to. And I don't know why
Well,
he hasn't the
his
last
wife
couple
passed away
meetings
2
yet.
months ago.
I get that,
We'll
yeah.
ask him again if he can help with that next meeting.
Well, it's kinda interesting when I hear the other ones doing
Dave
it.
tried to call me, Dave tried to call me this afternoon, and I didn't call, so he might have been trying to explain to me why he wasn't gonna be here.
And I get all that, it's just that when I see the other ones and they're giving all these details, it's like, why do they get that? You know? Why not here?
I'm not sure what to do, you know, maybe you guys as citizens approach Adam and Pat and
Ask him why,
So both of those two represent this one,
The
Yes.
township
because
is
it's kinda split? Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Terry, when will your next board meeting be?
first Wednesday of every month.
first Wednesday in
I've been there, I've been on the board for 21 years, and it's been the first Wednesday of every month.
Well,
20 years.
unfortunately, APEC sent out a flyer to everybody.
with the wrong,
Dates on it.
wrong dates.
So,
That letter from Apex had the wrong date, so
Yes.
that's on Apex.
Yeah,
That's on
well, I'm
It's
not
on-
blaming you, I'm just saying you can't blame us for asking the
Right.
cause they
question.
send it out to everybody.
Yeah, every single person.
It was a newsletter that was from Montgomery, and they did have the wrong date. They also had, I think, the wrong date for our planning
Yeah.
commission. in it.
Yes.
So were other townships wrong too, or just
I
ours?
don't
Just
know,
ours.
check them.
Thank you folks for coming.